Hi, and welcome back to Yorkshire Talks. We're here again after a year. I'm here with Christine Talbot. We are back for Series 2 of Yorkshire Talks. How excited are you?
I'm very excited. It's lovely to be back in our studio. We've had a little bit of a refurb.
I know, it looks fab.
And it looks absolutely amazing. But I think it's great just that we're doing a second series because our first series went down so well, didn't it? It's on YouTube and all your podcast sites if you want to take a listen. But we had such a ball, didn't we?
We did. We had so much fun. And it was such a learning curve as well, because obviously I'd never done anything like this before. So it was really interesting to see how it came together. And obviously working with you, an expert in broadcasting.
Should we explain who we are, just in case anyone doesn't know who we are? Well, I'm Christine Talbot. I've been a presenter in the Yorkshire television region for too many decades to remember, 30 years.
That's incredible.
On telly most nights. You're mainly on the ITV regional news, and obviously live telly is my world. So Matt came along. You're from a completely different world. We're great friends. We've got to know each other through our work, haven't we, over the years?
Yes, we have.
And Matt came up with this idea of doing this Yorkshire Talks podcast, which is something where we talk to Yorkshire folk with a bit of a different story to tell, and it's certainly turned out that way. But tell us about yourself, Matt.
Yes, I'm from Leeds originally, and I was on a little TV show a few years ago called Married at First Sight UK as part of the first LGBTQ plus couple on the show, which was an incredible experience to go through that.
Yeah.
And it's given me so many opportunities to work in an environment that I love. And doing things like this, hosting and presenting, but obviously working with you as well, Christine.
Oh, that's got to be the highlight, Matt.
It is the highlight. Yeah. We've known each other, as you said, for quite a number of years through the charity work that we've done.
Yes.
That's my background. I used to still work in the charity sector. And it was at Macmillan where we first met when I was involved in some of the work that they did with events.
It was. And you also did you put on a fashion show with the Breast Cancer Haven charity, which existed at that time. Sadly, COVID, one of the victims of COVID, wasn't
Unfortunately, yeah. Actually, it was while I was away filming the show that I actually got made redundant from that role because they went under from COVID. It's got us a lot to answer for, hasn't it? COVID.
But new chapters opened, and one of the things that we've been doing is this series, and just looking back at the series, and we were just looking back then at some of the phone clips, because we've got an Instagram site. If you want to have a look at it, you can see some of the guests we had last year. They were amazing, weren't they?
They were. And the conversations and the way that people were opening up and warming and talking openly about some of the really difficult things that they've gone through in their life and their journey as an individual was so amazing to hear and be part of that conversation.
Well, I've got friends. I mean, I obviously work in the television industry, and it's a tough industry, and they are quite critical when they want to be. And I've got to say, people said to me, I really enjoyed that episode. People really seemed to relax. They opened up in a way that perhaps they hadn't done before. I don't know what it was, but we didn't put anything in the tea at all. We gave them Yorkshire tea mugs, but we didn't. They were very relaxed. And I mean, for example, our first guest was Danny Malin, who has just left Rate My Takeaway, the very successful YouTube channel, which he's hosted for many years. Danny was talking to us about his own mental health struggles and his own journey, and he's had some difficulties over the years, hasn't he? And
he has.
We might well get him back in one day to tell us about the latest of his chapters.
Exactly. And it's really important, I think, to open up and talk about some of these issues that we don't normally talk about as well. And somebody that has a platform and a profile like Danny to be open about that and feel comfortable about sharing that with us was truly heartwarming.
It was. And we talked to Rachel Wolford, who won The Apprentice, last year's Apprentice, wasn't it?
Yes.
Not the recent series, the year before. And was it this year or the year before?
Last year.
Was it last year? It was last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew she was going to win. I knew she was.
Well, she's an incredible person.
She is.
Incredibly inspiring.
That's
and very driven as well.
And she's in business now with Lord Sugar. They've just opened a second fitness studio, which is her line of work. She's an amazing girl. But she talked to us, and I've not heard her speak about that before, about how hard it was for her coming out of that show and suddenly being thrust into the spotlight in a way that she'd never known before. She'd always been a private person, but people were talking about her just being so visible. She found very, very hard, didn't she? Positive and negative.
Positive and negative. And obviously, I've gone through a similar thing with being on Married at First Sight, and from nobody really knowing who you are to then being massively in the spotlight on a massive show like The Apprentice.
Yeah.
Does have such a an overnight transformation, really, to then be in the spotlight and be recognised everywhere you go and deal with that as well.
That fascinates me because I'm always thinking, what happens afterwards? What happens afterwards? And you've had all this such attention, and how does it work? Did you get the support? But we're going to have a chat about that at one point, aren't we? We're going to talk about that.
We'll have a little bit of a behind the scenes.
But another guest that I really enjoy chatting to is my old friend Steph Hurst, your friend too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, Steph basically talked to us about the difficulties of growing up and becoming a trans woman, and but being, as a child, knowing where she wanted to be, and how as a young kid from Barnsley that wasn't the easiest place to be, going through those emotions, and she really opened up about that.
Definitely. It's, I mean, to know at such a young age, but then to bury that inside and then be able to open up about that and talk about such a difficult time in your life and the journey and the transition that you've gone through is truly inspirational.
Yeah.
And Steph is such an incredible person, as you know, so full of life and so funny as well. We had an absolute hoot with Steph.
Well, I've followed Steph for years as on the radio. She's a big TV personality, big radio personality, and she's just the same in real life as she is on the radio and on TV, and so funny.
So funny. I always remember we were talking about how much is stuff.
Yeah,
being a tight Yorkshire
talking
lass.
about being a tight Yorkshire lass. And Siobhan as well, interior curve.
Oh, Siobhan Murphy, absolutely brilliant. We all remember changing rooms and how that went down, and it was just so interesting to hear Siobhan's take on it from the interior design master's point of view and how that journey progressed. And I think it's just incredible how well she's done as well now from that, and the journey that Siobhan's been on, and the incredible work that she's doing now at Harewood House. She's just doing the Christmas installation there this year, which is so exciting. So it's just amazing to hear these incredible stories. It
is. And we also, people maybe that are not famous but have amazing stories to tell. We also included in our last series, one being Andrew Simister, who has revamped his whole life after losing his leg in a terrible accident. He was on his motorbike. He'd stopped simply to readjust his belt because it was flapping, trying to be health conscious in that way, safety conscious in that way, and got hit. And his life has completely transformed since then. He spoke so movingly, didn't he?
He did.
About how he's dealing with that and how he's turned adversity into a positive. And that attracted so much attention.
It really did.
Yeah.
It really did. And it was just the openness about the moment when that happened and how it just completely changed his life forever.
Yeah.
And how his family had to deal with that and everybody. And it was just a truly inspirational story. And we can't forget as well, Marilise, my good Bezzy from Married at First Sight, and how her life has changed since the show, but also her backstory as well. And her dad,
Jimmy Corrigan
from Batley Variety Theatre.
Legend, indeed. Yeah.
But then also losing a mum recently as well. So both her parents have sadly passed away. And the fact they won the lottery.
I know.
It's just, I mean, her life story is just incredible. But Marilise was just so open about that and telling us everything that she's been through as well.
I know. It's been great fun. But it's been really funny for us as well, isn't it? I mean, we have known each other for years. We've never actually worked together really before.
No.
And that first episode,
I knew you were going to bring this up.
I wish I could show you the outtakes.
It went on for ages, didn't it?
It went on for ages. I in my telly head, I've got kind of a set time in my head, how long interviews go. And I'm so used to doing live telly and working to a time. We've always got somebody, when you're on television, you've always got somebody counting in your ear. So I'm conscious of thinking, right, we need to wrap this up now. And how many times did I try to wrap up that first podcast that we did?
About 5 times. And then I was like, we need to talk about this and we need to talk about that. And I had this crazy idea about this other thing that we weren't going to
say. Bye-bye, that's it now. Thanks so much for watching and listening. And he went, oh, by the way, what do you think about, what was that? What you came up with some idea about things you've heard in the sauna.
Oh, God, the sauna. Yeah.
I think you asked Danny Mayland.
I did, and he was like looking at me, and then I started I think I told a story about what I'd heard in the sauna. It was just because when I was in the gym, and when you're in the sauna and there's other people in there, and I just mind my own business because I don't speak to anybody when I'm in the gym, and I'm in the sauna and people are having conversations that you would not expect them to have when other people are listening. Because you're in a small room and they're talking about such personal things. But anyway, we decided to scrap that idea, didn't we, for the time being?
Well, I think there's only you ever heard anyone saying anything in the sun. Danny looked a bit bemused.
Yes.
So we didn't do that for the next episode.
No, we didn't. We decided to shelve that. That's a separate
I know.
thing.
But one of the nice things that we have been doing, and which has been really lovely, is we've asked people to bring in two things, haven't we? One, something that says Yorkshire to them, and two, something that's close to their heart. And it's been amazing, really, what people have brought in and the memories that it's brought back. I mean, we had lovely Danica Prim with us, didn't we? And Danica showed us the view. Was it from her hotel window when she covered the Olympic Games?
Olympic Games, yeah.
And
what an incredible moment.
Yeah, she'd taken a photograph and she'd got it framed. And Andrew Simister had a wooden heart that was given to him by a doctor.
Yeah, and I loved Steph as well, bringing in her original tape deck.
Yeah.
Where you put the cassettes in that she listened to when she was a kid.
She's such a geek.
I know, but I loved it. And it shows that passion that Steph had from such a young age.
Yeah.
Being in radio and broadcasting.
Yeah.
And I think those stories just mean so much, and it just resonates, I think, with everybody. We've all got those incredible memories and incredible things, objects in our lives that actually we connect with. What do you have? What would you bring in?
Well, do you know, I've got a little book that I think the thing that means most to me is a little book of what kind of inspirational sayings that my daughter literally she filled a whole book on different one each page for a present for me for my birthday a couple of years ago, and it makes me cry. And she just tried, and it was at the time that I was about to leave Calendar, which was a huge step for me, because obviously Calendar was my second family. I made this big decision. It felt like my world was rocking because I knew that world so well, and I was thinking, what's next? Is this a big mistake? I did it really for partly personal reasons, because my life my mum wasn't well at the time, and I was wanting to try and spend more time with her, and she needed me. So it was a huge decision, and she wrote this book for me, and it was some lovely sayings. One of which is the ship is always safest in the harbour, but that is not where a ship is meant to be, and like really made me think. And I still to this day I open it up and if I just need a bit of strength. And I think the fact that she went to so much trouble for me, just a young girl, and
that's so lovely.
So that would be the thing that means a lot to me. What about you?
What about me? I knew you were going to ask me that back.
You should have planned this better.
I know I should have planned this better. So I'm going to say this necklace.
Oh.
This silver necklace here.
Yeah.
Because this was given to me by my parents on my 18th birthday.
Right.
And I loved it when I had it, but I think I only wore it for about a year, and then it went in a box. And then I didn't think about it for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And then when I was going on Married at First Sight, I thought, I'm gonna wear this for the wedding. And I've not taken it off since.
Oh.
And it means so much to me, because one of the things that when I was growing up I would have never imagined would be my dad coming to my wedding, to a man.
Right.
And the fact that my dad came to the wedding and has completely embraced who I am as a person, it really resonated so much with me. And I put this back on because it was a gift from both my mum and dad, and I will never take it off.
Oh,
I wear it all the time.
That is lovely.
And it really does just remind me how lucky I am that I've got such incredible parents. You know how close I am to my mum and dad.
Yeah.
And I'm so blessed for that. And I'm thankful for that every day.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. I can't know. We'll have to save the thing that means Yorkshire to both of us for the next one.
Yes, we will do it. We'll bring it in.
I need to think about that one. But that's what we get our guests to do. And it's a really nice little thing that we do. And it's opened up so many stories, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such interesting stories that you wouldn't have expected as well.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have expect people. And they've really opened up about what it means to them.
So looking forward to the next series now.
We are.
We have some amazing guests. We'll be telling you all about them in our next little little clip from us.
Exactly. But we're super excited to be back. Series 2 is going to be fabulous.
It is.
We're so excited to be working together again.
We are. And we've got a great new sponsor who will be telling you all about in the next episode. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. See you soon.